you're white and want to understand the Bible perfectly, notice that Genesis chapter 2 in the beginning mentions the land of Ethiopia, which means the book is set in Africa. It doesn't stay there. But if you see that the people who start the book are black, then it's going to make a whole lot more sense to you. And you'll see that what you've been taught about the rapture is actually a promised exodus. And I want to get that across to you, because if you don't get it, the man of sin is going to kill you while you're sitting here waiting to be beamed up. So these people who are in East Africa leave, go up into Mesopotamia. One of the people from that land of is Abraham. He comes down into Canaan, which is not his land. More black people. God told Abram, do not mix with strange nations, keep the bloodline pure. And he comes into the land of Canaan. God promises him in Genesis 15:13, I'm going to give all this land to your descendants, but they're going to go into captivity for 400 years. Not because I want them to, because they're going to continually choose the curse. Moses' great-grandfather Levi was in the crowd that originally came down into Egypt when they were living good. Now think about how old your great-grandfather is. You might think, weren't they living 500-600 years during those times? Nope, they were living the same times we are now. So if your great-grandfather couldn't have been 400 years older than you, that means Moses' great-grandfather Levi was not 400 years older than him. So if God promised Abraham that his descendants would be in captivity for 400 years, then that means past the original Egypt exodus, we have to keep watching to see who fulfills that. So they come out of Egypt. They're living good, but they're sinning. They're building golden calf. They're doing worship of other gods. They're going into the lands, doing what the Canaanites did. They were supposed to take them out, but they didn't. So they end up worshiping their gods, sacrificing children, doing all types of things. Zodiac, the moon, worshiping the stars, worshiping the sun gods. All of these things that a lot of people still do today. So the last straw was when he sent them their promised Messiah, and instead of accepting him, they thought he was going to build a kingdom right then and there, establish them, put them back in power, and deliver them from Rome. But that was not the plan. He had to fulfill the prophecy of the suffering servant, taking the chastisement of the world on his shoulders, all of that. They didn't know the scriptures. They killed him, and then they end up going into captivity. They end up being sieged by Rome in 70 AD. They go on the run into the land of Africa to blend in. They go into West Africa, and then they end up being caught up. As God said they would, he would allow their enemies to come on and get them because they no longer had his protection. So promises through the Old Testament say, Israel, I'm going to redeem you. I'm going to take you from among the heathen. Israel, as you seek me and turn from your wicked ways, I'm going to hear from heaven and I'm going to heal your land. Now, there's a new Israel too. There's a new people that Christ said he would take in because the first people rejected him. So it would not just be that Israel that gets the covenant fulfilled. It would be the covenant of redeeming all mankind to bring them to the land of Israel, to bring them to the place called Mount Zion. So in Luke 17, when Christ is talking about leaving, when Christ is talking about one being taken and one being left, he said there's going to be children that hear my voice, and when I call them out of these lands of captivity, out of the lands of the heathen, when I bring them to Mount Zion, he said, you are going to take hold of a Jew and say, we believe you know the way, we're going to follow you. We know that the people who say they're Jews don't follow Christ. So it's not about who says they're Jews. It's about who has the Spirit of the Lord following Christ, whether it's in DNA, bloodline, or spirit. You're supposed to be getting ready to go to Mount Zion. Wherever you are, you're supposed to be getting ready to forsake your life, not buying houses and land where you are, not getting all comfortable and falling in love with where you are, loving your life and saying, I'm not going anywhere. He said, just as it was in the days of Lot, when Lot left the land, God rained fire and brimstone down on Sodom. He said, so shall it be in the days when the Son of Man is being revealed. And as you read through the Old Testament, because I'm giving you a very, very brief synopsis, you'll see that he promised to judge and destroy lands, and including this land called Babylon, a superpower, war criminals, killing people, selling weapons, having all types of oppression around the world, slaves, spiritual fornication, all of that. He said, I'm going to destroy that land as well. And as you pray and meditate on that, what you will see is we're supposed to leave these lands and go to Mount Zion, which is in Tel Arad, Israel. It's not the Mount Zion they say. It's not the Jerusalem they say. He said Jerusalem would be uninhabited. I had to wipe the people off the land so that the land could rest. It wouldn't be heavily populated. It would be desolate. He said the land is waste. Jerusalem, which no man seeketh after, waste. Which means when we go back to it, that's when it's going to flow. Land of Judea, Tel Arad. This is Old Testament. It connects to the new covenant. They keep telling you to separate these things. That's the error in understanding. It's not through bloodline, it's through faith in Christ. But through faith in Christ, a lot of covenants get fulfilled, a lot of people get redeemed, but there's gonna be people from the original bloodline of Israel that are lost, their hearts are wrong. There's gonna be people from the Gentiles that are lost, their hearts are wrong, they're not hearing from the Spirit, they're not gonna receive what I just said. Pray and meditate on it, take action on it, get ready for him to take us out. Jointhecall.org, go sign a petition if you're leaving with us, it's in my bio.